Do you want to know why your networking isn't working? I'll tell you exactly why. It's because you haven't put in the reps yet. I'm Greg Roche. I'm the introverted networker. And in this video, I'm going to explain why networking is a practice, why most people treat it like a shortcut, and what actually has to happen before you start seeing real results. Stick with me. This is one's going to change how you think about networking completely. When I was a kid, there was a park across the street from where I grew up. It had a wall. Nothing special about it, just a flat concrete surface. But for a few years of my life, that wall was my practice partner. I'd started playing tennis, and unlike other sports, I where you have a coach and you go to practice and there's a set time where you show up with a team, tennis taught me something different. Tennis taught me what it actually means to practice. I would go to the park by myself and spend hours hitting a tennis ball against a wall, ground strokes, volleys, over and over and over. Nobody watching, nobody keeping score, no coach telling me what to do, just me, the ball, and the reps. And then I walk over to the tennis courts that are next to it, and I take a bucket of balls and I'd serve until my shoulder was sore. So, same thing, no opponent, no match, just me working on my serve, one ball at a time until the bucket was empty. And then I'd fill it up and I'd do it again. I did this a lot. Almost all the time I was alone. Most of it was invisible. Nobody saw it. But here's what I learned. This practice wasn't about other people seeing it. It wasn't about performing. It was about becoming. Every session at the wall, every bucket of balls that I served, I was becoming a better tennis player. Even when I couldn't feel it, even when it didn't look like progress. And when I stepped on the court to play a real match, I was ready because I'd put in the work that nobody saw. Now, what does the concrete wall and a bucket of tennis balls have to do with networking? Well, it turns out it has everything to do with networking, because the number one thing I hear from people who try the connection loop, my framework that I've developed to grow your professional network, people who try it and walk away frustrated and say it doesn't work, my first question to them is always the same. How long have you been doing it consistently? How much practice have you really put in? And they will usually say something like, I tried it for a couple of days or maybe a few weeks. They tried it, but they didn't see immediate results. They didn't see the results that they were hoping for right away. And they decided this doesn't work. It's broken. But here's the truth. They weren't really practicing. They were just kind of testing it out to see if they liked it. And those are two completely different things. Here's what nobody really talks about when it comes to practice. And I mean any kind of practice, whether it's tennis or music or public speaking, or networking. You're not going to start out being great. You're not going to start out where you want to end up. You go into it expecting to get better because you showed up. And that's different. And here's where the different matters. When I was serving that bucket of balls, I wasn't good at it yet. That's why I was doing it. I was there to make my serve consistent, to make the motion more natural, to build the muscle memory so that when it mattered, the serve was already in my body. I wasn't thinking, I'm going to serve perfectly today. I was thinking, I'm going to show up and I'm going to put in the work. And networking is exactly the same. We often think about, we're going to go network and we're going to have this amazing networking meeting and it's suddenly going to yield opportunities. But you don't reach out to somebody and automatically expect a job offer. Or if you do, you're expecting the wrong thing, because you don't reconnect with a dormant tie and expect that they're immediately going to refer you to somebody new. You don't make one introduction or have one introduction and expect it's going to change your career. Maybe you do, and if you do, that's your problem because you are expecting results without putting in the work. So in order to get to that point where that happens for you, you have to show up. You have to show up consistently. You have to put in the reps, and then you got to come back tomorrow and you do it again. The thing most people hate about practice is it doesn't feel like results. You send one message to one connection, nothing happens. Or you can reconnect with somebody who you haven't talked to in a couple of years, and you have the conversation, and it's maybe a little awkward and it doesn't go anywhere. Or you make an introduction and nobody says thank you. And you think to yourself, this isn't working. This isn't what I thought networking was going to be. This isn't what I expected. I'm supposed to start getting introduced to people and start getting jobs and finding opportunities. But what you're really saying is, I wanted to play the match. I wanted to be in the game. I wanted to win without going and practicing first. That's not how it works. Not in tennis, not in networking, not in anything worth getting good at. Delayed results are not a sign that something is broken. Delayed results are a sign that you're in the middle of something that takes time. I always say consistency over intensity, and I mean it. 15 minutes a day, showing up, reaching out, reconnecting, giving first. That beats 4 hours once a month every single time. Every time. Because networking is not a sprint. Networking is a practice. It's a practice that only works when you keep coming back to it. Here's the part I want you to really hear, because this is the part that took me the longest to understand and realize. Practice doesn't just make you better at a skill. Practice changes who you are. When I was playing tennis seriously as a teenager, something shifted at some point. I stopped thinking of myself as someone who was trying to get better at tennis, and I started thinking of myself as a tennis player. It became part of my identity. I showed up without being told to. I looked at extra ways to get reps in because that's what a tennis player does. It stopped being about a thing I did and started being a thing I was. And that's exactly what a networking practice does to you. You show up for it regularly, you stop being someone who is trying to network. You become someone who other people see as a connector, someone who reaches out, someone who makes introductions, someone who gives before they ask. It stops being about something you do and becomes about being something you are. This is why this matters. When networking becomes a part of your identity, it becomes effortless in a way it never was before. You don't have to remind yourself to do it. You don't have to overcome resistance every time. It's just how you move through your professional life. But you can't skip to that part. You have to earn it through the reps, through the quiet sessions that nobody sees, through showing up even when you don't want to. Now, I've talked a lot about the connection loop in these videos on my channel and my newsletter, and I want to be clear about something. The connection loop is a system. It is a networking system. It gives you structure. It tells you where to start and what to do next. But a system is just a wall to hit against. That wall across the street where I grew up was there whether I showed up or not. It wasn't doing anything on its own. It needed me to show up with a racket and a ball and put in the work. The connection loop is the same way. It's always there. The framework is ready, but it doesn't do anything without you. Start with who you know, connect online, have real conversations, listen and give, be easy to help, get a habit. Those steps don't produce any results in one session. They produce results because you keep coming back to them, because you treat them as a practice. not as a checklist you run through once and throw away. People who tell me that networking changed their career didn't do it all at once. They showed up repeatedly in the quiet moments that nobody else saw. So here's what I want you to do this week. Pick one step in the connection loop and do it today. Not all of them, just one. Reach out to someone you've lost touch with. Send a note to someone who shared something useful this week. Make one introduction that costs you nothing, but matters to someone else. That's your practice session this week. Come back tomorrow and do it again. Match is coming. Put in the reps. If this connected with you, hit like and subscribe. It helps more people find this channel and this content, the people who actually need it. And if you want to go deeper on the connection loop and everything I talk about here, I have a weekly newsletter called The Introverted Networker. The link's in the description and in the comments. It's free, comes out every week. It's built for people who want to get better at networking without pretending to be someone they're not. I'm Greg Roche. I'm the Introverted Networker, and always be connecting.